Okay, it's now 6 p.m. We'll be calling the Public Works and Economic meeting to order. Members are Mrs. Ramos, who is excused, Mr. Rippeth, and then my alternate is Mr. Sindlick. You'll be voting today. We have 3 items to discuss tonight. The first one is proposed resolution 14. It's a resolution by the Council of the City of New Philadelphia, Tuscarawas County, authorizing and directing the mayor of the City of New Philadelphia to act as a signature designee and to submit the grant application of Ohio Airport Improvement Program to Ohio Department of Transportation. So basically, it's a big one for the whole project, the 3 different aspects of it, basically. It's we've been, during the whole COVID thing and the funding we got from that, we had 3 years that we've saved up, accumulated a little over 500,000, is that right, Mr. Kennedy? But
that is the bill funding, yes.
That's bilateral, yes.
Yeah,
And then we're going for grant funding from ODOT, which is another chunk of, let's see here.
453.
453, yeah. And then, so basically that, you'll see that local share at 453 also, or the local share at 452. But that's basically, is kind of like how we did the last hangars, where we had the everything else done for it, and then we took a SID loan out for the hangar, and it's completely self-funded because, as Mr. Kennedy will speak on here in a little bit, we have a big waiting list at the airport for hangars. So it's self-funded. I mean, there's not going to be any of the taxpayer dollars that go into this, really. But I wanted to explain that. That's why it's a big number when you look at it. You're like 400 and some $1,000. The city's on the hook for local share.
Yeah.
But I'm going to turn that over. If you guys have any questions on it, Mr. Kennedy will probably be able to answer it a little bit better than I can.
Mr. Chairman, if I could start.
Oh, yeah.
Does everybody know when he says SIB loan, which is State Infrastructure Bank loan is what that is? And to speak of the last one, we had a SIB loan for the last one. And so what it's doing is, right now it's paying for itself. We're paying it off to 20-year, it's very low interest rate. 3%. Again, it's self-explanatory through the state Infrastructure Bank. It's like Chairman Wanzer had said, it seems like a big number, but we're in a good place, and it pays the bills, and all that from any new hangar goes straight to the city. None goes to the fixed-based operator. So that's all our money. Anything new down there is through us. Right now, it's a 50-50 from the fixed-based operator on the stuff that's existing. So that's how we're able to pay for it. So I just wanted to precursor or anything with that, so before Dawn had spoke with it, just so you know what the State Infrastructure Bank is. They do it for other things also. It's just fortunate that it's available again for this hangar. And if you look, I think Dawn had put in the back, this back sheet has the waiting list to fill that pretty quick. So again, it'll be paid for. That goes into the monthly payments and so on. Again, we had the same discussion. How many years ago was that now? How long we had the other one? 6 years. And, just different faces down here going, you're gonna be able to fill it. And, Dawn had did a great job of getting some information before, getting it filled. And I have confidence in Dawn again that this will be filled also and be able to pay that note. It's a 20-year note?
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dawn.
I
Go ahead.
think with your resolution there, Ron, just to clarify, this is no guarantee that we will get this grant.
Right.
This resolution is a requirement of the grant application to show them, we applied for $900 and some thousand, Mayor, it was, and we went with a 50-50 split on it, knowing that we could go to the State Infrastructure Bank for our share of it, that would pay it off into 20 years. If the state would give us $453,000 in a grant, we could couple that with the bilateral infrastructure law bill, which is the first time the federal government has ever allowed us to use their funds to build a hangar. That is normally excluded in FAA funding. You cannot build a hangar because it produces revenue. They'll pay for your lighting, they'll pay for your runways, your taxiways, obstruction removal. They have a list of things. Building hangars is not one of them. But in the bilateral infrastructure law bill, they accepted that and said that you can use the funds that they provided us, which was almost $800,000, and said if you want, you can build a hangar with it. I came to the mayor and said, this is really a no-brainer. If they're gonna give us $800,000 over a period of 5 years, we can throw some city money at it, add to it, and have ourselves an income-producing property after 18 to 20 years that will help us make the airport self-sufficient. The more revenue we can keep, then, you know, the less we have to go to the general fund for the operations of the airport. So that's just a quick background of where the process sits right now. And we're hoping that we get the grant. There's no guarantee we will. We'll go to Plan B if we don't.
I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Kennedy, if we don't get the grant, we still have that other funding that we can lay the concrete and the.
We still have the bill funding to build the buildings.
Yeah, so all those, yeah, so
Just the building, the taxiways and the apron.
oh, that's the, okay.
is.
I see, I was wrong, I was thinking it was the other.
It's a separate section of money that we get from the FAA that we have also accumulated there, knowing that we needed to have the infrastructure in place to put the building on.
Yeah.
Does everybody know that Don is the chairman of the airport commission?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to,
Just a
Just
quick
to make sure.
background. I got involved in aviation back in 2002. I got my pilot's license in 2003 and decided that somebody needed to represent the airport commission. So I got involved with the airport commission. Whenever you volunteer for something like that, you end up with the secretary's position. And I did that for probably 15 years with Mr. Farvizo and Mr. Zuckel, who was head of the chairman. And when Mr. Zuckel moved on, they asked me to become chairman. I've probably been chairman the last 4 years, somewhere right around in that area. So that's a little bit of my background, and I'm a pilot, have a local-based aircraft also, so got a vested interest in trying to keep New Philadelphia Airport the best it can be.
He's got a lot done for us down there. I mean, if you could, you could just, his footprints, his fingerprints all over the place down there of things that he's got
Yeah,
done for us.
after a lot of years of neglect, we had some things that needed to be done, and fortunate to have a good administration that backs the airport, realizes the economic benefit of it, and what it does, not only for New Philadelphia, even though it is our airport, what it does for the county in general. I wish I could get all the other municipalities and villages to donate towards our funding. That's one of my goals, to possibly see if we could get the county and the city of Dover and maybe some of the villages to, even if they just kicked in a little bit, to help us maintain this airport and make it better. You can find me another 1,200 feet of runway somehow. We could do a lot more with it, but we're kind of landlocked down there. But getting off base here, but that is what your resolution's about. Like I say, if we don't get the grant, our plan B is, the first thing we have to do is get a design of this thing. I know what the design is of what we want to do. And you have a picture, for those of you may have to share. I thought it was a small committee. I printed 11 of these. But this is the master plan that was done by Michael Baker International. And on the front page of the master plan is exactly what I was looking for, is the Delaware Drive area of the airport. This is, the whole picture encompasses all that's down at your airport presently. And on this, this was even done before we built what I like to refer to as our 2019 new hangars, which you see the black building here. That is a 10-bay wooden hangar with sliding doors that's probably 40 years old, or if not more. The pad next to that is a 12-bay hangar that we constructed in 2019 using the SIB loan on the airport. that would pay itself off in 20 years. We had a schedule for it. We were fortunate enough to get two COVID grants that of about $70,000 that we were able to put directly on that note. That note's gonna probably be paid off in a little less than 15 years at the current schedule by having that paying towards the principal. So that gives us another 5 years sooner that we will be able to collect money and keep, is because we do not share that with the fixed base operator. We kept that out of his contract, knowing that we needed 100% of those funds to pay the SIB loan. And we will do that with the next building. And the next building will go just to the left of that, the second yellow area there you see. And one of these sheets back here in the second or third page, third or fourth page, that second page, shows the first building as a 13-bay hangar. We built it 12, we didn't build it 13. This next one will be I want to build the exact same building, another 12-bay, what we refer to as a nested T hangar, where the tails back up to each other. You have 6 doors on one side, 6 doors staggered from the other side, so you can build a narrower building, and the tails stagger from one building to the other. That's why they call it a nested T. The master plan, as you can see, because of the space that's limited, all the future development will take place on the Delaware Drive side of the airport. That's where we have the land, it's where we have access. If we can, fortunate enough here in the next 12 to 18 months to complete this 12-bay hangar, and if not sooner, I've had discussions with the mayor, we have a need for corporate hangars. We've turned away 2 jets or turboprops that wanted to come to our airport because we did not have hangar space for their aircraft. You have to keep in mind, these turboprops are anywhere from $3 million to $6 million, and a used jet is $3 million. If you get into the new jets, you're $5 to $10 million. And they don't want them sitting outside, they want them in a hangar. So there is space over here on the Delaware side. I'd like to see if there's some funding sources from ODNR, some other areas I've found, that if we can show them that we have somebody that wants to come to our airport, they will fund possibly 100% of the building. So if we could get something like that and bring a corporate aircraft, and if somebody like Battle Motors or Schaeffler now come into town that wants to have a hangar for their jet, that's gonna produce fuel sales for us. It's gonna make our airport more active. The more operations that we can show the FAA that are taking place at our airport increases our funding level with the FAA. We used to have a King Air at the airport back in '05 and '06. We had a local business that had a jet. Our fuel sales, it's funny, I found this the other day, looked through some stuff. In 2006, we did $106,000 in fuel sales. We're currently doing about 37,000.
Yeah, their fuel.
I'm sorry, 37,000 gallons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were doing 106,000 gallons
Yeah.
back then, not dollars, gallons.
That's not like a
The only
dollar a
difference
gallon.
was the jet?
Jet, well, you had a jet, you had a twin, the King Air, twin turboprop, and I think some of those years you had the med flight here.
Yeah, we did have the med flight there
For a
also.
few years you had the med flight.
Mhm.
All those produced revenue in fuel sales for the FBO, and we got a flow fee for it. So that's how you increase funding with the FAA, is showing that you've got what they call critical aircraft, not just general aviation aircraft. We have a lot of local pilots, we have a lot of pilots throughout the state of Ohio that fly in here for the restaurant, for Trumpet in the Land, for the activities at Tuscarora Park, anything going on in the area, even Swiss Village out in Sugar Creek. They'll fly into New Philadelphia. One of the things the master plan said, we didn't have rental cars. I was fortunate enough with this current administration, we now have 2 courtesy cars at the airport. And the pilots love it. They know they can fly in here, They can have a use of a car for a couple of hours to get to their business meetings or go do what they need to do, come back and get on and fly back home. So it seems like an expense, but again, when you have an airport that is an economic driver, you have to have the little things to go along with it. So back to this, corporate hangars is probably the next thing that I would like to focus our activity on once we get the second 12-bay hangar and see if we can't get 1 or 2 buildings built. And these are usually 80 by 80 buildings, 60 by 80 buildings, something with doors that can handle the height of the tails and the extra width of the wings that those type of aircraft require.
So you can fit another hangar for bigger planes over in this,
Not on the East High Avenue side.
No.
This will all be on the Delaware Drive.
That's what I
side.
said,
This is
Delaware.
the Delaware Drive. This is the main one.
yes, I know, that's why I was pointing at this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
right
thought you were
here, they're already
pointing up
drilled.
top there,
These
Tom.
are future ones right here.
No, I'm talking about in the end down here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there are, if you
This-
see the, to the left of the black space, here to the left, there are 3 smaller buildings, I think they're 50 by 50 buildings that the consultant drew. That you have room if you wanted to put 3 50 by 50, which probably is a small twin, similar to the old Giles hangar. Not more for, it wouldn't, a 50 by 50 probably is not gonna hold a jet or a King Air. You would need a bigger building, and where they have those going is these, the third to the right yellow area. Better if you look at the other drawings, they're numbered on the third building back. They've got in there 100 by 100, they have 2 of them, and they have an 80 by 80 on this, the third drawing back, third page, second page back, second page back. This is a close-up view of the front page with more detail on it as far as what they proposed we could build there. None of this is set in stone. We could move things around anytime we needed to.
Well, thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Is there any questions from committee? How about council? Anybody on council or administration, or anybody have any questions? Yes? Seeing none, is there any action to take on proposed resolution 14? Oh, wait, before I do that, what's the deadline on this? Do you know? That you need this passed right away?
It'd be helpful, yeah, because we have the grant application in already, and this is one of the requirements
Yeah,
of the
that's to
grant
follow it.
application, that we have it to show them that we would be willing to fund our share of their grant.
All right, thank you.
I'll move we propose it tonight, edit the agenda.
Okay,
I would second that.
all right, we got a vote now, Mr. Simlick
Yes.
and Mr. Ribbit,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes also. All right, thank you, Mr.
Are you
Kennedy.
gonna ask him to waive the,
Yeah, we can do that one.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, next on the agenda is proposed resolution 15. This is basically a housekeeping one. I'm sure you guys have all read that. It's something we do every 5 years. The mayor signs it. It's just, we have to have a resolution for it. I mean, is there any questions on that from the committee? Council?
I move what's the number? I forget.
15.
This is something we need right away, Mayor?
Resolution.
15, 20?
No, you could go 3
We can go
readings
3 on this,
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So,
I move we,
all right, we got a
Second.
second by Mr. Ribbit, then we'll take a vote. Mr. Sidley?
yes.
Mr. Ribbit?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes also. All right, the last thing we're gonna talk about is proposed resolution 16, basically another housekeeping thing. It's basically we've all talked about it before, the CHIP program. We have an arrangement with Yerkesville where we kind of share the money, share the pot with them. That's pretty much all this is. Mr. Service Director, do we
Sure.
need this right away, or?
Not to my knowledge, so,
Okay.
yeah.
If we
let's-
do, we could always pass
Yeah,
the
if
second
we do,
reading.
I'll say something with the next one.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
again, all this is like, we passed the main one, I think it was last meeting, I forget, maybe it might have been.
Yeah, it was.
So I apologize for not knowing which one, but, that was to get the grant, get the money in. Now we gotta do an agreement to be able to play nice with Yorksville, which what we do is just share that, so they get that 300,000, we get the 350, and this is just an agreement. They do the same thing, and they send it in, so they're doing the same thing on their end, we just gotta do our part. They gotta do to accept it, we gotta do to be able to move their money their way, so,
Actually, we receive more money.
Yes.
By partnering with Yorksville.
yes, we do.
Consortium.
Yes.
Kind.
All right. Is there any questions from committee on this one? Council?
I move we put that resolution on for tonight's,
Mr.
for a first
Ribbit?
reading.
I'll
And
second that.
Second, Mr. Simlick. We'll take a vote. Mr. Ribbit?
Yes.
Mr. Simlick?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes also. All right, is there anything else to come before committee?
We move for adjournment.
Seeing that, thank you.
See-
At 6:21.
See you then.
This is I'm gonna call together a meeting of the Safety, Health, and Service Committee. Mr. Walker, Mr. Sears, members of this committee, Mr. Kreinbill is the alternate. We are discussing the latest version of our ordinance 9-2025, which involves false alarms. What we're doing is we're updating an existing ordinance.
Just one.
This is copied off somebody else a long time ago. I thought service director or safety director could be here today, but anyway, what really brings us to light is the condition of the Hampton. And they had 18 or 20 false alarms in the last year and showed very little inclination to take actions to avoid them. Since then, safety director's gone down and met with the owners. Fire chiefs got involved. They've cited them for, as a nuisance, threatened to shut them down, so we got their attention. One of the interesting things, by the way, I thought, when they designed that hotel outside the restroom in the rooms, bathroom, is where the fire alarm was. And so if you took a steamy shower in there, and then you opened the door to walk out of the shower, the steam set off the fire alarm. Well, nobody wanted to spend the money to redo that system, It was cheaper to pay the city a $100 fine if the city felt like doing it, So, at this point, we've got their attention. The chief said he thinks they've been down there 150 times since that hotel was built.
Oh, jeez.
Unbelievable. So anyway, I think if it's a practical matter, our safety director and the fire chief and so forth have gone down, I've met with them. I think they are taking actions now. He showed them the fact that we're gonna increase these penalties seriously, as you can see according to this ordinance. And what we don't wanna do is don't wanna damage the hotels that are doing a good job, who may have a false alarm once in a while, but we don't wanna beat them up too bad. So there's a lot of discretionary slack in this thing, to not even count one against anything. It's a little odd because the way Marvin wrote it, it says for each false alarm after the third alarm, and then it goes down to for first offense. Well, they're talking about the fourth offense there. But then they told me that the fire inspector typically will count 4 offenses and then count 1. So, I mean, he's real loosey-goosey on this, but they're doing it as a practical matter to protect the business guys. We do need to have a form ordinance that has some more teeth in it. Since we last talked at the last meeting, there have been several meetings taking place, which gives rise to this. There's a thing in here which sets a stage for finding them a nuisance if they're repeatedly bad. We don't really have a lot of them have repeated problems. This applies to homes, but homes don't, people don't do this at homes. And it really doesn't happen in factories around here much either, it's just commercial stuff. So, but the thought is, that this kind of an ordinance, we need to upgrade it to a level that has some more teeth and get somebody's attention. And so, anybody have any questions or thoughts or?
Takes me back to the days of Tuscarawas Auto Parts.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
he was,
Mr.
fire truck
Chair,
was there every week.
And then maybe the mayor's gonna talk to it.
Yeah,
Did you know about the fire marshal and then the?
right,
Yeah,
the
so go
state
ahead.
fire marshal got involved, and, the operator of the hotel, was required to have a security, person on site, 24/7. That if an alarm goes off, that person investigates it, and if it's legitimate, then call the fire department. So now the operator's paying, or the operator of the hotel's paying $700 a day for this security.
Until
I heard that, but is that not, how ongoing is that, and how long is that?
Till they get the alarm system fixed.
Till they
because the alarm
corrective
system
action.
was turned off.
Yeah.
That's what really got my attention. So,
They did that,
you know,
we said,
kudos to the state fire marshal, fire chief, and the fire inspector, and the safety director. I mean, they had made corrective action quickly,
and they did a good job,
yeah,
I think.
yeah. So, I mean, that Hampton Inn is still open, a great place to stay. And, but now there's a security person on duty 24/7 to make sure that if there is a alarm go off, that it's legitimate, and we're not making a run down there on a false alarm.
So the alarm is turned back on at this
Yes, the
time?
alarm's turned back on too.
Okay.
At our last meeting, I had proposed a different set of penalties, which were actually twice as what they, doubling what they previously were. And our safety director, after talking to all these people and all that, he came back with this, which puts a top fee is $1,000, which
Right.
is a big jump. And, but if you get up that high, you deserve a good penalty, get your
Yes.
attention, you know, so. I'm in favor, I don't know, any of you have any suggestions?
I can imagine being a tent, or if you're out there renting a room, and that alarm goes off. That
Yeah.
often, I mean, that'd be, what a nuisance that would be if you
I
were,
would think,
if you were a guest out there.
yeah.
Gee,
I do agree, the way it's written is a little bit, so it's after 3 alarms, but then it's the
That's
first
what
offense. But I don't know if that's just,
I
You know, me
totally,
looking too
in
much
fact,
into
I
it,
called
or-
Marvin about that, and I said, this is a little weird, because it's after 3, then it gets to number 1, and maybe we should do something, and he said, well, he talked to all these people, he thought that was best. I said,
okay, well, if that's what,
"Yeah, whatever,
yeah, if that's what they
I'm
think.
not gonna
My
argue."
understanding there, Mr. Chairman, would be that the first 3 are not an offense.
Right.
Right.
You have no offense until the 4th time,
Until the fourth
which
one.
is your
And
first
as
offense.
a practical matter,
Yeah,
the fire inspector may go and investigate 3 or 4 before he even charges number 1.
right.
So it's a real arbitrary, but the fire department is controlling it.
Yeah.
And they have inspectors and they get chiefs involved and all this other stuff, so it isn't even actually, number 4 isn't actually even number 4, it's probably number 8.
Basically, if the businesses are trying to work with the city.
That's right.
This,
Well,
this
I think
They're
this
not
gives
gonna
them,
charge them the.
No.
you know,
That's the main
this
thing
gives the
is-
fire department the firepower to slap
To
somebody.
do it if they
Right.
need to be.
Is there a time frame of those offenses?
A year,
A year, in
Yeah,
1
it's
year.
1 year.
from, it's
One
1 year
calendar
from
year.
the first offense.
From the first sentence, okay,
It's not a calendar year, it's the first offense,
first offense.
so.
Yeah, with a 1-year period within the date of the first incident.
So as the fire department, safety director, whoever, talk to them about making sure that we are documenting these offenses better? Cause I mean, we still have the discretion to not charge someone, but it seems like we need to make sure that there is good documentation being done for these, because if you don't, let's just say that Hampton is an example, and we don't have the right documentation, and, you know, you could be at number 8 or 9, but we're giving them number 4, when really they should be getting $1,000 fee, and we don't even have it documented, the days, the times, of when they done. So, I mean,
My understanding is that the fire inspector investigates every one.
Right. I mean, yeah.
He
they-
either decides
they're
after he
documented.
investigates, this is a legitimate infraction or it's not. But he keeps the record of how many
Right.
offenses.
And that information's always in our database. Whenever an alarm goes off, the fire department's software
Yeah.
sees it and records it.
so I mean, if we ask for, hey, can we get a report for the last year of false alarms? They
I
could
think, yeah,
They
provide
could,
that.
They can
yep, they
provide
can
that.
spit
Okay.
that out,
Yeah,
yeah,
because they counted the 18 in the last year,
yeah.
yeah.
So it sounds like they are potentially doing it then, because the way you made it sound like they were missing.
I didn't mean to make it sound like that. I don't think they're missing them.
No, they're not, I mean.
No.
Well,
the
I
number-
took the,
Yeah,
I took the impression you were saying that sometimes there's 8 and you're only marking 4, that's what basically you said, so I was just clarifying that.
yeah.
The fire
Okay.
inspector will, if they get an alarm, and he can make a decision that says, well, this is a false alarm, or this is a legitimate, this is a ticky-tacky,
You can
picky
decide when
thing,
the clock
or this is
starts.
legitimate false alarm.
That's
We had to
basically
take trucks and shit.
Mhm.
Then he'll decide that's number one.
Smoke and the ventilation or something
Yeah,
like that.
right.
Yeah,
Okay,
But it is good that it's at their discretion. I think it's good because then it's not meant to penalize
Sure.
And it-
anybody
And it
who's
won't penalize
following the rules.
an innocent guy who screws up one day, you know?
Right.
As I understand it. This just gives them a tool with some teeth in it when they go down and tell you, don't do that again.
Right. Yeah, seems fair.
sounds
That's
great.
it. Any action you want to take on this?
So I make a motion to put it on tonight's agenda for, we're gonna do the 3 read.
Yeah, three readings. Marvin thought since it involves a penalty and stuff like that, it ought to have 3 readings.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I need a second? I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll vote aye too. Yes, too. Whatever it is. Any other business to come before this committee? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. We took quicker this time than we
We
did the
did.
last.
All right, it is 7 o'clock. I would like to call this meeting of the New Philadelphia Finance Committee to order. I see that our committee members, Mr. Kreinbill, Mr. Lanzer are here, as well as myself. Mrs. Ramos, our alternate, is excused from tonight's meeting, so it'll just be the three of us, guys. We are here tonight to discuss Ordinance 10, 2025, which is an ordinance amending and adjusting our permanent appropriations that was passed earlier in the year. I'm going to turn the floor over to the auditor to explain what we're doing here. Ms. Denham, if you would explain, it looks pretty cut and dried to me, but
Sure. Yeah, thank you. For the land reutilization fund, this was a brand-new fund last year, so it may have just been overlooked to put money, appropriations in that budget. But Josh says that he has 3, maybe 4 properties that he's ready to foreclose on. So we need this money allocated so he can foreclose on those properties. And 2 of those properties he thinks will sell right away, so we'll get this money back and probably more. And then, I don't know if that's one of those properties, but the county had contacted him to ask our intentions, and they kind of want us to foreclose on that. So that's what we just need to allocate, that $15,000, so he can start those foreclosure procedures. And like I said, he will get those money back whenever the properties sell. The K-9 maintenance, that should say VFW and the Reeves Foundation. VFW, once again, generously donated $3,000 for K-9 kettles. And the Reeves Foundation donated $1,500 towards the K-9 kettles. So we just need to appropriate that money so they can start working on those kennels. And then the health department, so their grants that they receive, the revenue goes into Fund 251 Public Health. And so we just need to put the operating expenses, we need to allocate those operating expenses in that 251 Health. So we're just kind of switching so that there's no additional money going to the health department. It's just moving from operating to personal services, the allocations. And then the local fiscal recovery, that was a grant that we received back in, was that 2021 or 2022? It's for water and sewer line maintenance, and we had $3,115 left in that, and when it came time that I was supposed to do the annual report, I saw that money was in there, so I paid a bill that was for Glen Drive. That's where we've been paying a lot of, or using a lot of that money, was the Franklin Square and the Glen Drive, so I wanted to pay that last bill so that we can be done and close out that grant. And then the water replacement, he had submitted a revised budget right before the permanent appropriations, and I missed putting this $208,000 into the permanent appropriations. So we just need to add that so that he can use that on some of his projects. And that's all I have. Any questions?
questions for the auditor?
Looks pretty, you explained it pretty good to me.
Mr. Granville, any questions?
No, I'm super excited to see the property foreclosures one, because I know I've talked to the mayor about it and Josh about it in the past. And I don't know that everybody does understand how that works. So it cost us $2,500 to foreclose on someone that's passed on the real estate taxes. Once it sells, we get it back. So in theory, you could use this $15,000, do 6 a year, because the process takes about a year from my understanding from it. So in theory, that money can just continue to be
Recirculate.
used for people that are past 5 years, 4 years, 3 years on their property taxes. And a lot of times, those properties are blighted properties.
Yes,
That
they
then,
are.
in theory, hopefully someone buys it at tax sale, and in theory, fixes them up, and we get rid of a blighted property, which is, I think I love seeing that one, so, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, just one property in particular was 6th Street Southwest in Allen Lane, right behind Quicksols. There was an empty lot right there. We foreclosed on that. The next time we had a chance to sell it, and it sold immediately and got our money back. That's just one that I can remember right off the top of my head. And that, what you'll see eventually, it was a developer, you'll see duplex on that piece, but trying to get to that point, because he's not just one and done type person. He's got 20 going probably at this time, so that's just one that, but they typically will sell. Same similar thing up here at Second Street Northeast, 300 block, right there past North Avenue, on the northeast side. You see that duplex that's sitting there, same type thing.
Several years ago, that's how, Ron Rosenthal was to J&G, got the old gas
Yeah.
station.
Yeah, that was.
2016. 'cause
Yeah, that was,
we-
I mean,
that was
talk
the guy
about
who
an
pushed that
eyesore,
through.
and that's
Right.
how he was able to,
Right,
Yeah,
get
he
that.
bought that for $18,000.
yeah.
right, right.
And so that, came back to the city.
Yeah.
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 Any questions from anybody else in the city council? Does the committee wish to act on this tonight?
Is this, something?
We would like to pass this in emergency.
We would, yeah, he is ready to do some of those foreclosures, so
Yes.
we would
Okay.
like to get it
I
done.
move that we add proposed ordinance 10, 2025, tonight's agenda, and ask the council for suspension of the rules and passage on first reading.
I'll second.
Second? Mr. Lonzer?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
I as well vote yes, so we will put that on tonight's agenda. Ask for suspension of the rules for immediate passage. Are there any other issues to come before this committee? Ron, would you like to make something up just so that we use the time wisely?
I'm going to juggle for you guys in a little bit.
You go get your guitar, Steve.
Yeah, okay, hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So,
Okay, we will be in adjournment at
Popped up.
7:06.
I thought you were.
All right.
This meeting of New Philadelphia City Council will now come to order. Would you please rise and remain standing for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Mr. Walker.
Please bow our heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for giving us some sunshine this afternoon. We just pray for this city. We pray for all the graduates who are graduating across this country, that you guide them and just show them the direction for their futures. Be with our city workers, protect them, protect our forces, our armed forces, and our fire. Just be with all of them and keep them protected as they're out there battling and saving and helping this city along. Be with us tonight as we make decisions based on you. We pray all this in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you and welcome. Typically, we meet on Mondays instead of Thursdays, but this past Monday was Memorial Day, and I know I attended the service at the courthouse square that we celebrated. All those have given their life to keep the freedoms that we have in this country, and if you weren't there, it was a great service, and a lot of veterans, including myself, were there, and so it was just a great morning to spend, and so we just thank you for all the Gold Star families out there that have lost loved ones, and so we just keep them in our prayers. So we'll start with roll call.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Here.
Mr. Lanzer.
Here.
Mrs. Ramos. Mr. Rippeth.
Present.
Mr. Sears.
Here.
Mr. Simmelink.
Present.
Mr. Walker.
Here.
All right, let it be known that Mrs. Ramos has been excused from our meeting tonight, as well as Mr. Kevin Milligan, our safety director, is also excused from the meeting tonight. The agenda, everybody's had a chance to look at the agenda and review it. Are there any additions to the agenda? Yes, Mr. Lanzer.
Yes, Mr. President, I ask that we add for proposed resolution 14, proposed resolution 15, and proposed resolution 16 to tonight's agenda.
All right, do I have a second?
I would second that.
All right, thank you. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, any other additions to the agenda tonight?
Yes, Mr. President, we
Yeah.
asked, we add ordinance number 9-2025 to the agenda tonight.
Do I have a second? All right, thank you, Mr. Walker. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes,
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
All right, are there any other additions to
yes,
the?
Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Rippeth.
Thank you. I would like to add ordinance number 10, 2025 to tonight's agenda, and I would ask that we suspend the rules on that tonight and pass it on to first reading.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kreinbell. In discussion by administration, council,
We don't need mine.
roll call.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, any other additions to the agenda? If not, I'd entertain a motion to accept the agenda with the additions. Mr. Walker, thank you. Need a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Simmelink. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
All right, our agenda has been approved. Everybody's had a chance to review the minutes from our last council meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cranfield. Need a second? Thank you, Mr. Rippeth. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Abstain.
All right, minutes have been approved. Next correspondence, Ms. Courtwright.
To council and administration from Mayor Day dated May 16th, 2025. This is a forwarded email from General Manager of the Newtown Mall, Tori Noah, regarding the mall's new tenant, Next Level Play. To council members and Auditor Heather Denham dated May 20th, 2025. This is an email titled 2024 Audit. To Councilman Walker from President Kemp dated May 29th, 2025. This is an email titled, "Please assign to Mr. Walker's committee with proposed ordinance 11, 2025 as the attachment." And President Kemp assigned this to Mr. Walker's committee. And to council and administration from Mayor Day dated May 22nd, 2025. This is an invitation to the 2025 housing study, which will be on Monday, June 9th at 8:30 a.m. at First Federal Community Bank. And to council and administration from Mayor Day dated May 29th, 2025, the mayor's report. And that concludes correspondence for this evening, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Ms. Courtwright. All right, we move into our administrative reports. First up, Mayor Day.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to give my report from the podium because I have a proclamation to give tonight. But before we do that, I want to tell you that you need to mark your calendars, and I would love all of you to attend the groundbreaking ceremony to begin construction of the downtown quadrant redesign. Will be on Wednesday, July 2nd at 1 p.m. The event will mark the start of the $2.9 million project that's being funded by Governor DeWine's Appalachian Community Grant Program. The program used $500 million of Ohio's designation of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds, to develop projects that would bring what the governor termed transformational change to Appalachian communities. Because of the use of the ARPA funds, construction of all ACG projects must be completed by October of 2026. The county courthouse quadrant will not be included in the redesign. Our project will transform downtown New Philadelphia into a more welcoming gathering place that will encourage more community activities, building improvements, and business growth. It will take about a year to complete. Designing Local of Columbus is the company creating the redesign. It will bring artist renderings of the quadrant's redesign to the ceremony for everyone to view on July 2nd at the ceremony. The invited guests, and these are not confirmed, but these are the invited guests, include Governor DeWine, John Kerry, the Director of the Governor's Office of Appalachia, Lydia Mahalik, the Director of the Ohio Department of Development, State Senator Al Landis, State Representative Jody Salvo, and a number of the county and other local officials. So we're sending out invitations to those folks, and hopefully all of them or a lot of them will be able to show. But it's a project that we've anticipated for 2 years now, and finally the date to get it underway has been confirmed. So again, that's Wednesday, July 2nd at 1 p.m. To downtown quadrant. We're not sure where we're going to actually have the ceremony, but one of the 3 quadrants is where it'll be. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but it seems that City Council has turned into a lion's den. Well, we'll get to that, Mr. President. The New Philadelphia Lions Club has reached a remarkable milestone. It's celebrating 100 years of dedicated service to our community. A mayoral proclamation has been written to mark this achievement, and I'd like the club members to, if you can, come forward here and gather around while I read this proclamation. Okay. Okay, this is a proclamation from the City of New Philadelphia, the Office of the Mayor. Whereas Lions Club International is the world's largest service club organization with 1.4 million members in approximately 49,000 clubs. And whereas upholding the motto, "We serve," the New Philadelphia Lions Club is comprised of volunteers who dedicate their time to the betterment of our community and aiding those in need. And whereas The New Philadelphia Lions Club is celebrating 100 years of outstanding and commendable leadership and service, enriching New Philadelphia as a whole. And whereas, in addition to providing eye exams and glasses for those in need, the New Philadelphia Lions Club participates in a number of community events and organizations every year, including the Ohio Lions Eye Research Foundation, the Ohio Lions Pilot Dogs, Tuscarawas County Share at Christmas, Tuscarawas County Rainbow Connection, Scouting America, Buckeye Council, Tuscarawas County Big Brothers Big Sisters, New Philadelphia Youth Baseball and Softball, United Way of Tuscarawas County, Trumpet in the Land, Tuscarawas County Soapbox Derby, RTY Summer Showcase, Tuscarawas County Public Library, Ohio's Hospice, Tuscarawas County Friends of the Homeless, Tuscarawas County Dress a Child, the First Town Days Festival, the Tuscarawas County Humane Society, and New Philadelphia's Santa House. Now that's service, and thank you for that. Whereas the New Philadelphia Lions Club holds their annual Rose Day fundraiser every fall to raise money to support community organizations, and has crowned an area high school senior as the Rose Queen each year since 1949. And whereas observance of this anniversary provides an opportunity to extend the gratitude of our community and it feels for many of the valuable contributions made by the New Philadelphia Lions Club. So therefore, I, Joel Beam Day, the mayor of the city of New Philadelphia, do hereby congratulate the New Philadelphia Lions Club on its 100th anniversary and call upon all New Philadelphia residents to join us in observance and celebration in honor of their ongoing excellence and their ongoing excellent service to this community. Thank you and congratulations. The Lions always open their meeting with a roar, so would you like to demonstrate that
We
for
will
us?
gladly do that.
president stand.
Oh.
Go towards the president if you
Why
want.
don't you come up here? I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
we'll get a picture.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll get a picture.
we'll get a photo here.
Elizabeth, you try.
This is our president, Angela Stingle is our president of this year.
Thank you.
Just spread out here, guys, yeah. A good turnout, we can have a meeting here tonight.
Got it, yeah.
There you go.
Where don't you get over there?
All right.
Okay, now let's hear it.
Ready,
On
go.
three.
All right, Lions, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Roar, Lions, roar, Lions, roar, Lions, bite, bite, bite. When's our road? October?
October 2nd.
Very impressive, man.
Good to see you.
Hey, you're impressive.
Very good. Yeah, good to see you.
Thank you.
Next Monday.
Oh, there they are.
Lions, I invite you to stay for the next presentation. Zach Phillips,
All right, well,
the Director of Environmental Health for the Health Department, would like to update council on his annual mosquito spraying program. So Zach, you have the floor.
My name is Zach Phillips, the Director of Environmental Health. So I run and perform mosquito spraying and manage the program for the city of New Philadelphia. Right now we have, in Ohio, there's these 5 diseases that are kind of spread across the state. We have West Nile, St. Louis encephalitis, Eastern equine encephalitis, lacrosse encephalitis, and then also for our pets, there's heartworms. It's also transmitted by mosquitoes. So these are the 3 of the mosquitoes that we have in the city and transmit. The 2 that I'm going to focus on are Aedes species and the Colex. These two are the ones we mostly have when I do my surveying. These are day biters. These are the ones you guys will encounter in daylight, and they're very aggressive. These are also called the tree hole mosquito. They like to lay their eggs mostly in small areas of water. They can even lay their eggs into like a pop, like a cap for a 2-liter pop. That's small. So these are the ones in neighborhoods that you'll be getting in. They'll lay eggs in bird baths, they'll lay eggs in your spouting, they'll lay eggs in puddles. So these are the ones that you kind of mostly in like the neighborhoods. Then we have the Colex. These mosquitoes are just dawn biters, and these lay eggs in pretty much the large areas of water and swamps and around that, and that type of things in the city. And this is a mosquito life cycle, so they'll start as eggs, then they have their first larval stage until they grow, and then they'll end up in the pupal stage here. And then they'll get the adult. The adult will, and then the gestation takes about anywhere from a week to 2 weeks. So these ones are called wigglers, as you see them. I had a wintergreen cup to show you guys, and American attest, during the Board of Health meeting, I had quite a few of them, about 100 in a scoop that I got down on the south side. I've since larvicided all my areas, and they're dead. So, attest that the program's working. So all my hot spots are, and also with the weather, a little cold too. So these are called wigglers. This first larval stage here, and the pupa they call tumblers. You can see, and they'll actually, if you disturb the water, they actually tumble to move out of the way, so that, you know, in case there was something trying to eat them. So here's a little better picture of it. So here's an egg graft with a mosquito. That's a Colex. These are the wigglers, and these are the tumblers. And City of Philadelphia, we use integrated mosquito management programs. So essentially, we're just trying to identify what mosquitoes we have, what habitats we have, and then we want to treat them at each stage. That's what we're trying to do here, and not to waste any larvicide application, adult site application, and reduce that population as best we can. And includes education to the public as well. So, and for the public, I just started this year. I have these residential larvicide tablets, which I'm going to hand out to you guys later after this, or after the meeting. You guys are welcome to take them. Here's one here. These are pet safe, children safe, and bird safe too. You can put these in your bird bath. You can put them in a rain barrel. You can put a puddle in your yard. They'll last roughly 60 days per application, about 50 gallons. So we've got a lot this year with our grant, because this program is entirely grant funded. It's through the EPA grant, which I apply for each year. So this is something we're going to really push in the public this year, to take a hold of these. And we also have an educational video that we used from last year's grant that we've been pushing on our social media and the website, and that will be on the next slide. I want to show you guys this one.
The New Philadelphia City Health Department's mosquito management program utilizes science, technology, and data to guide informed decisions around mosquito control and disease prevention. However, a successful program is not complete without public education and support. New Philadelphia citizens can help protect themselves from mosquito-borne diseases and reinforce ongoing management efforts in their communities by remembering the 4 Ds. 1. Defend. Constantly wear and reapply an EPA registered repellent when outdoors. Always follow label guidelines to ensure safe and effective use. Also be sure to keep your pets up to date on vaccinations and heartworm preventatives. 2. Dress. Mosquitoes are most attracted to dark clothing. Wear closed-toe shoes, light colors, and loose-fitting long sleeves and pants to keep your skin protected. 3. Drain. Mosquitoes require standing water to reproduce. Regularly empty and drain objects that collect rainwater from limited treating areas, such as bird baths, buckets, tires, and kids' toys. Also cover swimming pools when not in use. Also, monitor spouting for clogs which could cause standing water. 4. Dusk and dawn. Limit spending time outdoors when mosquitoes are most active. During the day, mosquitoes typically linger in cool, shaded places like thick weeds, ivy, bushes, and wood piles. Please join the New Philadelphia City Health Department's efforts to prevent, promote, and protect the public from mosquito-borne diseases by practicing personal safety and encouraging others to do the same. The New Philadelphia
And so, in part of the integrated pest management or mosquito management, I'll use traps to capture adult mosquitoes. So this is a light trap, and it uses CO2 to attract as well as the light. This is a sentinel trap. This can use CO2 or also has like a scent cartridge you can put in here. Essentially, it mimics human breath. That's what they're attracted to, and these run on fans, so when they get close enough, they'll suck them in. This is a gravity trap, so we're all actually have a mixture of like essentially grass and water. It's a little stinky and kind of rotted. It's got a lot of nutrients and it attracts the mosquitoes as well. And they go down to lay, or a gravid mosquito, which means a mosquito with eggs. When she goes down to lay, she'll get pulled up into the net. So, and then these will all be taken, all the adult mosquitoes that I collect go to the ODH lab. So then that's where they will test them for what diseases we have, and then we'll also identify the species as well. And this is the larval mosquito surveying, so I'll use what's called a dipper. It's this right here. So I can go into any place that I try to reach into, like a puddle or areas like streams or any standing water. So I'll scoop it out. Now that allows me to get a count and identify if I have wigglers or tumblers. And I can actually also, I have breeding containers, so I can put them in there and I can let them hatch to see what we have. And this is part of hot chemical testing, so actually, when I get them and they're dead, I have to freeze them to kill them. And then I put them in the test tubes, we label it up to which area they came from, down the city, and let's have them here. So this is a map of the city. This is not entirely up to date. The purple ones here are my trap locations generally, and then I have green and orange for my largest applications and known breeding pools. And again, I have other ones. This is just ones that I have, the ones I hit a lot that tend to always have mosquitoes, but I'm always looking to see if I can find other areas as well. And these are the larvicide controlled tablets we have. They're called Natular. This is what's the same in here, but I use a larger one, so I was going to pass those around to show you guys. There's a smaller tablet. They treat about 100 square feet. This one lasts about 30 days. Pass that down. This is a larger tablet. It does about 100 square feet, but it goes 180 days. So one of the applications I'd like to put these into is all the catch basins in the city. So if you put those in the catch basins, when we get rain, it will maintain and fill them. And what it does is it's an actual, it inhibits the larva from eating. They can't absorb any nutrients, they die off. And will not kill adults. And for our adult mosquito control, we just got this year with the grant. It's a backpack sprayer that I'm going to use, but we do have this. This is the truck-mounted sprayer, though. I don't think I've ever seen me driving around the city. So this will put out a mist. We use what right now it's called Duet. So it's an adulticide. It will last. Once it's sprayed, it will last about 6 hours in the air, and it also, once it gets, it does not last in the soil. It has a half-life of, I think, about same thing. When it's in the soil, I think it's about a day, about 24 hours. So this is the new one we got here. This will allow me to get into some tighter spots. For example, the dog park down the south side. I can't get the truck in there as well, but this will allow me to get into those areas, not just larvicide, but actually apply to the adulticide as well. And when we do, in order to spray adulticide, these are the data that I use to kind of figure out what I need to. So one, it's 25 mosquitoes per trap, which is over one night. Weather, if it just rains, well, around an inch, because the mosquitoes will hatch in about 5 or 10 days. Also, like a history of like any holidays, festivals, any type of large gathering we have. I'll generally try to get that with an adulticide before that happens. We also do complaint calls. If I get 2 or more calls within an area, that'll trigger that I'll try to get a spraying down there too. And then, of course, if we get any disease from the UDH lab, then I'll also immediately spray, and we'll do about a mile radius the best I can. That also includes if the county of Tuscarawas has a disease hit next to our borders, I will also spray within that area. Any questions?
So what's the framework from now until when mosquitoes?
Like what's the season?
Yes.
So it's usually, it can start in April into October, but it depends on weather. So generally, it has to be about 50 degrees or more for mosquitoes to kind of be active and actually be laying. Like we've got a few cold nights now, so that it's kind of dampened them down a little bit, but also lots of water. So yeah, it's generally that time frame. But we'll see, August will be our high point. That's the point where we're going to have the most mosquitoes. That's the point we're going to have the most likely chance that someone's going to get sick.
I just want to say thanks for doing what you guys do with the mosquitoes, and especially with the, first town days, events like that, it always seems like there's no problems with mosquitoes.
Like I said, I always try to hit that before, especially first nowadays.
Yeah.
And try to get in there real good and hit it all as well as I can. No questions?
All right, thanks, Zach.
Thank you, Zach.
You guys, make sure everybody takes an extra large packet of release. Take as many as you want, I have it on.
I want to remind everybody that Health Commissioner Iona's retirement party is here in council chambers tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And Barb Schwartz is preparing desserts. I don't need to say more.
No, you don't.
So you're all invited. That concludes my report. Any questions?
Any question for Mayor Dave? All right, thank you. Move on to Service Director, Mr. McAbeer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. I want to talk about a couple of ongoing, or projects that are going on right now. I don't know if anybody noticed the gas line project. You see it right now coming in Beaver Avenue right there. It is, they're replacing 3,400 feet of bare steel line right now with a medium density plastic 4, 6, and 8-inch line. And that'll go from Beaver Avenue into Beitler, so it'll hit Ridge, Beitler, Kreider, and Kreider Avenue rear. In that, I believe there was 59 services, so that'd be 59 new services also to the homeowners. But they started that Tuesday, and I just want to make everybody aware, just in case some, you guys always get calls or something, that's what's going on there. They figure it'll last about 3.5, maybe 4 weeks, depending on weather, naturally, like that goes. So I just want to make everybody aware of that is going on now, just so anybody asks. Also last week, we received our new garbage truck. It'll be in service in about 3 weeks, we figure, by the time we do everything we need to do on our end. And I just wanted to bring up, the price now is $209,000. In 2023, if we remember, that was around $159,000. So it's about a 21% increase. And that's just bears out what we talked about before when we raised those rates of why that was much needed. Stuff's not going down. So I just wanted to make sure I brought that up. With those trucks, so now we'll have, those trucks run every day. So it's a 20, a 23, and now this 2025 runs. So we're on about every 3 to 5 years, we're getting that new one. So I just want to make everybody aware that truck will be on the road. You'll see it in about I'd say in the next 2 weeks we'll have that going. I've got some things to do. We got to get the stickers on and all that kind of stuff also, but you'll see that up and going. Also last week at the Omega meeting, they announced the Appalachian Regional Commission grants. If we remember the 21A, the one going underneath Route 250, we was able to get a grant for that. Right now, they came out with the top 9 for grants for that, and this is for the final clarifier we had that legislation on. We're on number 5, so it'll be moved to a full application. In my time, I've never seen, once you go to full application, not get funded. And that was in the amount of just over $233,000. That was a 50-50 match, again, for the final clarifier at our wastewater plant. So we'll know more after the full application goes in, because it's through the federal too, so that's why the full application, and it went through Omega, but I look to receive that. I'll be shocked if we don't. But I've never seen one in my time not once you do a full application. They usually don't ask you to do a full application. The nice thing about us is there was 9, we're 5, so there's 4 other could drop off, and we still are right there at number 5 as far as in that pecking order. So I just want to make that, want to make you guys aware of that. Also, Tuesday did the final walkthrough on the shared use path. Came back in with met with the four guys from ODOT. Laid out the deficiencies there. I think if anybody's been down through there, we got some standing water in about 6 places, 6 or maybe 7, I can't remember how many off the top of my head. Most of the south side curbs are down considerably as far as the dirt. So we spelled that stuff out, just some of the high notes of it. Come back, compiled everything that I had went over and sent out pictures and the bullet points of everything I had went over with them and got that out to them today. So they gotta work on that with Shelley and Sands because, like I shared before, as soon as Omni came in and started working on that side, you can imagine how that is. It's, no Omni did it, no Shelley and Sands did it. So it's, and we've got three properties right now that were kinda, they're saying no and they're saying no, so I made sure that I'd shared that with, and there's, like I say, there's 3 properties that went out in my bullet point that's where we're at with it. But again, as soon as you get somebody else in there, they all wanna point the fingers. So, but we're working through that. I'll have more on that, as it progresses and see what they come up with to help with those, standing water and, the dirt and that kind of stuff. And like I say, there's 3 different areas that people are both going no, no, and no. So we'll see where that goes. Also over here at the 2nd Street water line, over here at Northeast in front of Guide, that should finish up, I'd say tomorrow on their end, on the construction end through, Kinsey Excavating. We still have to come in and do a couple services in there yet because we do all our own services. We don't have them do any services, so we'll do our services and then we'll get out of there. They have some patchwork there that they have to do in 2nd Street and Ashwood Lane when they tied that new storm sewer over to it. And so that was a project there, but they did make through there last week. Also, I just wanted to make a note to everybody that the sidewalk place program that we have out there, which we all know is, we base on square footage, not a 50-50, straight 50-50, but looking at applications, and I didn't look at them today, I looked at them Tuesday, and there's plenty still there. So if you guys want to pass the word, or, you know, John, or just, I just want to get it out to public-wise. It's still there, it's a great program, and I think there's going to be, you know, right now I know there's less asked than what the money is. So if anybody knows of anybody that, like I say, it's a great program for sidewalks. So just trying to get that word out there to see if we can't, you know, try to get as best bang for our buck and get the sidewalks looking good. So just want to make sure everybody was aware of that. And that's it on my report. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. McAbeer? All right.
Question.
Yes, Mr.
I
Sears.
just have a question. I just was curious, so with the garbage trucks, is there a program similar to the ambulances where you can replace the back of it without, no? you're
Yeah,
gonna do the
unfortunately
whole
not,
thing?
because typically what's happening is they're rotting, they're rotting out, and a whole lot of hydraulics and
You
everything.
could use a lot more.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, and that's the thing, that they're out there every day.
They're not just idling.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just, you know, they're idling going down the road, and, yeah, they're a tough machine though, as far as that goes though, for 5 years, 5 days a week and everything down through there. That's typically what we're getting out of them. So, yeah, there's no rehabbing, it's always, but we don't just take that out of service. That 2019 that we redid, or is out, that'll go out, say tomorrow it rains and we got 15 or 20 extra trash slips pickups. They'll take that garbage truck that used to go out on a daily thing and still be able to, it just doesn't go to the boneyard and sit over there and just rot away to nothing.
Just more of a limited service?
Yes, limited service, yes,
Okay.
exactly, yes.
And then, just one more question, the Glen Drive, I assume the rain is probably, the weather has probably not helped
No,
get
actually,
crews over there, or is there
actually, there hasn't been any movement since our pre-con meeting
okay,
that they had got held up in, I think they're in Jeromesville. And I think I might have mentioned that at one of the meetings, that the first 3 weeks of being up there, the contractor we have doing it, Terrence Meyer, was hit with change orders. So in other words, if they thought a line went this way, it was actually over here, didn't do what they did. So that's what pushed them back.
Okay.
So they're actually still, and I hopefully by the next council meeting, I'll have a confirmed date, but right now it was the 3rd week of June.
okay,
Because we wanted naturally to start next Monday, because
Sure.
as soon as school let
School's
out,
out.
because of the buses. But right now, and I know you have that, the individual want to know that, but yeah, no movement since the last report is, we're still looking at the third week,
Okay,
okay?
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Mr. Walker.
The standing water on Fourth, did we get that figured out?
Yes, and I know I brought that up and I said about those things. We haven't got a schedule of when they're coming back, but we are adding, 3 catch basins on each, naturally where the low point is, there where the most of the water is, and then on, each side of Allen Lane. Yes.
Good.
I'm glad you brought that up, because we did talk about that last week, and I should remember, but I probably would have brought it up when they're actually getting ready to mobilize. And they have another issue, I don't know if anybody's been down on Fourth Drive, down on Bank Lane. If everybody goes down there, it's got a pretty good ditch line there, that the water, when they put this topsoil in, just eroded it. So they gotta address that, and then bring in those other catch basins too. Yes, but I'm glad you brought that up. If anybody's been down there, that one is pretty severe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr.
Yep.
McAfee. Our Safety Director is excused this evening. Auditor, Mrs. Denham.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just have a quick update on the annual audit and the annual financial reports. The financial statements are usually due on May 30th, which is tomorrow, but I'm working with Ray and Associates on that, and we have filed for a 30-day extension. Some of the reports that they had us complete with the previous auditor, they want them done a little bit differently, so we still need to coordinate, and I need to get those reports from them so that I know exactly what they need and what they want me to fill out for that for this financial statements. And those will be due on June 30th, I believe. And we need to finish those before we can finish the audit, which Ray's been in a couple of times over the last couple of weeks, and it seems to be going very well. My team, Debbie and Danielle, they're able to get them the reports that they need right away. They've mentioned that, they appreciate that they're getting them to them so quickly, and I appreciate all their work on that. And we're also going through an OPERS audit, and my payroll person, Debbie, she took off with that. She just, knew I have a lot going on with the union negotiations and just everything all at once. And so she took off with that. She's completed that. We have somebody coming in from OPERS in a couple of weeks to go over those reports. And like I said, a lot of little projects going on, but the audit, the financial reports, the OPERS audit, those are my main concern right now, well, in the union negotiations. So that's all I have for right now.
All right, any questions for the auditor? All right, thank you, Mrs. Denham. Treasurer, Mr. Gerber.
No report, sir.
All right. All right, we're up to the law director, Mr. Fate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was asked at the last council meeting to issue a legal opinion on what happens in an annexation with regards to property taxes. And this was what we call in the legal profession, a first impression for me. It's not something that I'd come across. I'm not an auditor, I'm not an accountant. So I did research it, and I found 2 Supreme Court cases that verified my findings. There's 2 types of annexations. You've got a type 1 annexation, and you've got a type 2 annexation. The McClave annexation, which is before council, is a type 2 annexation. In a type 1 annexation, everybody has to be in agreement for that to take place. So generally, people go with a type 2 annexation, which does not require everybody to be in agreement. Under a type 1 annexation, the property taxes go to the city, all of them. Under a type 2 annexation, the property owner actually has to pay taxes to both the county, both the city and the township. And I thought, well, that's unusual. I wonder how they work that. So I called up the county auditor, and he said, yeah, we had to draw up a special tax district just for those, because whatever's levied by the county, they have to pay, and whatever's levied by the city or the township, they have to pay both of them. So they do pay both of them, and we're not losing anything by going ahead with the McClave annexation, which I know was the issue before us. You can do an agreement to the contrary, and you can do an agreement that one township might wind down theirs, but there's no agreement before us, and that's never been discussed with regards to McClave annexation. But the city doesn't lose anything under either a type 1 or a type 2. So we would get our portion of the property taxes. Is there any questions about that before I move on?
So they pay double tax?
Yes.
Literally?
Well, they wouldn't for like schools and stuff, they would just,
Well, they just pay,
Yeah.
for schools, they just,
Right.
they pay
Yeah,
whatever's
they want,
levied,
they would-
yeah.
But property tax, they pay to the county, and property tax they pay.
If there's a township levy, they would
Like
have to
if
pay
they put a
that too.
fire protection levy on the township, they're gonna have to pay that.
Yeah,
plus
that's a
that, the
property
city
tax one,
protection.
correct.
What's the levy we already have?
And they had to draw, like I said, the county auditor told me that they had to draw up a special tax district just to do that, because for years, he said they had been doing it where it just all went to, one entity, and it's actually has to be divided by both, and that's clarified in, I think it's the Supreme, State of Ohio versus the City of Xenia, was the case that it came up in that I read. And that is the law, believe it or not. I was as shocked as anybody when I came across that. The other thing I wanted to take time to acknowledge is we had two personal heroes in the audience today that are personal heroes of mine. Mr. Ward Holdsworth and Mr. Jim Watson, who's left here. These gentlemen have been lifelong educators, lifelong residents of our community who have dedicated a lot of time and service to our community. But that's not why they were personal heroes to me. The reason they were personal heroes to me is ever since I was probably about 13 years old, which is ironic because it's the same age as my son, I admired these gentlemen because they hold a record that is unique in the annals of New Philadelphia football history, and it's one that will never be beaten. These gentlemen in 1956, Mr. Holdsworth was one of the co-captains of the 1956 New Philadelphia Quakers, and Jim Watson was the starting quarterback of that team, and they defeated Dover 72-0, which is still the largest score in the history of the game, and that'll never be beaten because now we have a running clock, so that doesn't happen. But I researched and studied that game. Dover never crossed the 50-yard line that entire night. As far as I'm concerned, Coach Holdsworth and Mr. Watson should be given the pep talk at every single one of our Dover Philly games, because if anybody knows how to beat Dover, it's these guys. And I had the privilege of playing for Coach Holdsworth, and Mr. Watson was one of the assistants when I played. And when Mr. Watson actually had the game films, and whenever I would play Dover, I would watch these game films on the old films and use it to pump myself up for the Dover Philly game. So these guys have been heroes of mine. They're great public servants who dedicated a lot of time to our community. But I just wanted to share that with you because I think that's really a unique part of our history that a lot of our young people may not know about or appreciate today. So we have some greatness in our presence this evening. So that's all I wanted to add.
Any questions for the law director? If not, we'll move on to board commission reports. Planning Commission, Mr. Mayor Day.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Planning Commission meeting has been moved to Monday, that's June 9th, at 1 p.m. here in council chambers, and we'll learn about a proposed housing development on the south side between 2nd and 3rd Street Southwest.
All right, any questions from Mayor Day? Board of Zoning Appeals, Mr. McBeer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Board of Zoning Appeals will meet June 10th at 5 p.m. here in council chambers.
All right. Airport Commission, Ms. Alonso.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Airport Commission will be meeting June 10th, 6 p.m. at the Harry Cleaver Field Airport Meeting Room.
All right, Park Board, Mr. Sears.
Thank you, Mr. President. Park Board met on May 21st in the former Park Place Teen Center. Mr. McInturf was here. I probably should have had him talk. He ran the meeting. So, but just real quick, there was 2 guest speakers. Katie Saba from Quicksall and Associates. She was there to talk about the resolution we passed regarding Pavilion 6.
Yep.
So she basically just explained everything kind of the way, you know, it was explained to us. And then Chris Bourne was there, and many of you know Chris Bourne. He's with the school for a long time. He's still keeping very active, so he's working on a project to put a butterfly garden in at the Kreider, I think it's the Kreider Avenue Trail.
Kreider Avenue Walking Trail.
Yeah, and it's a sort of a joint project, I guess. I guess the schools actually have a allocation in their budgets for
Right.
some projects or maintenance down there.
Yeah.
So it'd kind of be a joint project between him and the science club and the Key Club at the high school. So he was there to talk about that. Just a couple other things, the Tuscarora Park Foundation had a pancake breakfast, they raised around $2,500. There is a small playground on Bank Lane, which I know we've talked about, I think it was talked about when Mitch was here, I think it's been being talked about for a while. I actually went down with Kelly Ricklick and looked at it. I think they're to the point where, you know, they either want to make a decision to improve it a little bit, or put some signage up or something, or, you know, or not. Just pick a direction, I guess. And then lastly, there was some discussion at past meetings, which I know the mayor and service director were at. RTY sort of pulled out of the Park Place Center. They pulled the funding out, so there was some discussion on what to do with that space. Coincidentally enough, it gets rented out. It gets used quite a bit for showers and, you know, graduation parties and things like that. So I think the general consensus with the board committee was just to kind of leave it as is and just continue to do that. Maybe do some minor, you know, painting and things like that. But it seems like it gets pretty well used now, so it would make sense just to keep it that way. The last thing, I just wanted to defer to you guys, the Southside Park grant money. I know we had it on there that in the last meeting that there was supposed to be a response in June. Is that still accurate, as far as you know?
The last that I was told that they had to rush on, and then it was gonna be delayed. So right
Okay.
now, after the mayor and I had talked, the money from the state, and then we have the Kimball Foundation, we need to start moving in a direction. So, right now, I think the direction that I think the consensus may be is, over at the soccer fields on that side, drawing up a 4 unisex bathroom, which is about 24 foot wide, and then continue to run that off the back and have a pavilion. Got to keep it, there's already plumbing there as far as for the force main. So, and we already have that stub. We kind of said, okay, this is where we're going to be, laying it out. The first phase, when I laid out the first phase, water's there. So I believe that's what we're gonna work at towards. And then, on the other side, just past the dog park, I'm waiting to meet, with Menards and maybe do like a, after speaking with Adam and kind of what their needs are as far as the leaf truck and stuff and what they need is a 12-foot height on a door. So we're gonna have 14-foot sidewalls, roughly a 32 by 32 garage, a little bathroom in the back, and a little slop sink out front, you know, keep it right there, keep it bare, minimum, almost like the one that they work out of now, but naturally nicer, you know, type thing. So, that's what we're kind of working for, because just trying to get something drawn up, because if we get there and it doesn't come through, we're gonna be up against the wall, because the, July of 26
Right.
is where we're at with the state money. And that's House Bill. What did I?
Well, it's a state capital budget,
Yeah.
yeah, it would be House Bill 6, I believe.
Yes, House Bill 6, I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. We're kind of getting, like, you know, we got to get something on that drawing board.
Sure.
Because we got to get it out. And she's, Goodrich has already kind of shot one over the bow saying, this, your time's coming here, so we're trying to move in a way of, and then we can always add, you know what I mean? If we get the grant money, we'll just put another 4 bay over there, you know, another 4 restroom, something over there. So we're okay if we start this and can get this built, but we're going over, financial and stuff. We want to keep it exactly the same, split face block like we have at the other 2 that are down there. The timber like it looks like that. It's all gonna be the same type look. We don't want to change that look.
Sure.
But just maybe sure we get something in there and make it fit within that, the grant money is what I'm looking at right now.
Okay,
Yes. I'm glad you asked that.
yeah, thank you.
Yes.
So there won't be any road from the dog park on back to the soccer fields?
Well, yeah. and
Possibly.
I'm glad you
If the
brought-
grant comes through, you know,
Well, yeah, this is different. Ask the, Congressman Rulli and Senator Marino's office contacted us and said, do you have any projects that you'd like funded? So we applied to both of them, for the money to complete the road to the soccer fields. It's, $984,000, estimate on that. So we've applied, you know, to Congress for that.
yeah,
And we have fingers crossed now.
right.
All right.
So, yeah, we continue to look for, you know, grant money to complete that road and complete phase 2 of
Yeah.
the whole south side park.
And the big thing is, if we have to piece it out, we'll piece it out.
Yeah.
We was very fortunate to get the meats and potatoes of it the first round, you know, with almost $3 million of the
Yeah.
grant money. So we've got a good footprint. Now, if we can get those couple things added and just keep planning, you know, our little hotels and stuff on our Monopoly board, that's fine. We'll just have to do that. So that's what we're trying to do.
All right. Any questions? All right. Move on to Health Board, Mr. Zimmerlink.
Health Board met on the 15th. Part of that meeting, Zach did his presentation about mosquitoes, which was pretty impressive. It inspired the mayor to bring him tonight. He also represents a really quality kind of people that we have in the health department here. And their ability to raise, get grants and things like to pay for this whole program and a lot of other stuff they do. They're really to be congratulated and doing a nice job. And Zach's one of the guys. Vicky, that was Vicky's last meeting as the health commissioner. And she put together a great group of people. But as the mayor knows, tomorrow they're doing a farewell thing at noon. I also gave you each one of these, which is the result of the health assessment for the county. You guys, a lot of you people, filled out the questionnaire that went into this. I don't know whether you remember doing it or not. We passed them out in here, and a lot of you did. And it's fairly extensive, and it's pretty interesting. If you have an interest with the well-being of Tuscarawas County and what's going on. So I don't think I gave one to Marvin, but did you get one of these anyway? So anyway, other than that, that's it, Mr. President. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Zimmerlink. Move on to council committee reports. First up is finance. Mr. Rippeth.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met tonight here in council chambers at 7 p.m. We had one order of business before us. It was ordinance 10, 2025, which was amending and adjusting our permanent appropriations. The committee voted unanimously to forward that to the council tonight and asked that it be passed on first reading. We were actually done by about 7:07 p.m.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rippeth. Public Works and Economic Development, Ms. Alonso.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Public Works and Economic Development met this evening at 6 p.m. We had 3 items to discuss tonight, and there was proposed resolution 14, proposed resolution 15, and proposed resolution 16. All 3 of them had very short discussions, and were all voted unanimously to be put on the night's agenda. And the committee is also asking for proposed resolution 14 to be suspended rules and passage for tonight.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Alonso. Safety, Health, and Service, Mr. Zimmerlink.
Safety, Health, and Service Committee met tonight at 6:30. Much shorter meeting than the last one, actually. But we agreed to propose ordinance number 9/2025, which involves penalties for false alarms for fire department. It can do 3 readings. Yeah, we proposed that.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Simonic. Cheryl's not here for the zoning annexation. We'll move on to salary, Mr. Cranbill.
Thank you, Mr. President, no report.
All right, cemetery, Mr. Sears.
Thank you, Mr. President, no report.
All right, contact and special, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report this evening, but we have a meeting scheduled for next council meeting. Do you know what time?
I have it at 7 o'clock on June 9th.
7 PM, June 9th.
All right, thank you. All right, floor is now open for visitors' comments. Anyone wishing to address council should state their name and address and address all comments to the chair. You have 5 minutes. Anyone, Ward, you're the lone one. Are you going to address council tonight?
Appreciate all the work that you guys do.
All right, council comments. Any comments from council members this evening? Yes, Mr. Granville.
I've had a few people ask me, so I wanted to give an update on Dora. We currently are at a little bit of a standstill because the city is transferring a website, and we're getting a new website, and our signage all has to have the QR code on it. So we can't create that QR code until the new website's created. So some people have asked what's going on with it, when's it gonna start? That's delayed it a little bit. So we have finalized the cups with what it's gonna read, and we're gonna be getting they're gonna be getting those ordered. But as far as the signs, we can't do anything yet until we get that final QR code. So we don't have a date yet, so if people are asking, just explain it. The timing of it was just, we're not gonna make signs with an old QR code and then turn around and have to put stickers or something on it in a few weeks. So that's what the holdup is. Hopefully, I know they're working on it. Mayor, do you have any updates on the website at all?
I would think by the end of the month, it would be up and running, end of next month, end of June.
Yeah, so that's what we're waiting on. And once we have that QR code, they're hoping they maybe can get us that before the website's actually active. And then we could order the signs, but we
Right.
wouldn't put the signs up and we wouldn't start it until that. So that's kind of been the hold up with it. Just, I know, like I said, some people have texted and asked me questions from council, so I just wanted to give a quick update on that.
Right, hey, thanks for the update.
Is it legal now to walk around?
It's still only
downtown
special
with-
event.
It's
Yeah,
still only special
It
events?
was not legal until the signage. So when we get the new cups, we're not gonna hand those out yet either, just to not confuse the restaurants that it's okay to do. So, yeah, we're gonna hold on to those as well, so.
All right.
Mr. President, real
yes.
quick, I just wanted to give another spot to New Philadelphia High School. The New Philadelphia Delphian Chorale was requested to sing the national anthem Saturday at the Guardians game at 4 PM, first pitch, I believe, so.
That's awesome.
That's great, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Nothing else, council comments. We'll move into our legislative agenda. Ms. Courtwright.
Ordinance number 9/2025, an ordinance by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Ohio, to amend codified ordinance sections 555.3B2, 555.4A regarding false alarms and declaring an emergency, first reading.
Is there any action taken by council on this ordinance tonight? Yes.
I'll make a motion that we suspend the rules for this ordinance to be passed on first reading.
Do I have a second?
I think we want to do that.
We don't wanna.
I thought you wanted to do that.
No, we don't.
Three?
We don't.
I apologize.
So you withdraw your,
I do withdraw.
all right. Hearing none, they will be held for the next regularly scheduled council meeting.
Ordinance number 10/2025, an ordinance by the council of the city of New Philadelphia, Ohio, amending and adjusting the permanent appropriations ordinance for the year 2025 and declaring an emergency, first reading.
Is there any action taken by council on this ordinance
Yes,
tonight?
Mr. President, I would ask that we suspend the rules tonight and vote on. ordinance 10, 2025.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cranbill. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, rules have been suspended. Mr. Rippeth,
I would move that we pass ordinance 10, 25 tonight.
do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cranbill. Any comments from the community, administration, council, roll call?
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 10, 2025 has passed.
Resolution number 14, 2025, a resolution by the Council of the City of New Philadelphia, Tuscarawas County, Ohio, authorizing and directing the mayor of the City of New Philadelphia to act as the signature designee and to submit the grant application for the Ohio Airport Improvement Program to the Ohio Department of Transportation, hereinafter referred to as ODOT, which is due on May 1st, 2025 for the new 12-bay T-hangar construction project at Harry Cleaver Field Airport with an estimated total cost of $1,460,810. It is expected that approximately $554,325 will be paid by the FAA IIJA-AIG funds. The ODOT grant amount will be 50% of the remaining share, $453,242, while the local share will be $452,243, and authorizing the acceptance of the grant from ODOT in the event the same is awarded to the City of New Philadelphia, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. First reading.
All right. Is there any action been taken by council on this resolution tonight? Mr. Alonso?
Yes, Mr. President, I ask that we suspend the rules on on Resolution 14, 2025.
Do I have a second? Mr. Ripper, thank you. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Sears, or Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, rules have been suspended. Mr. Lonzer,
Yes, Mr. President, I ask that we pass Resolution 14, 2025.
do I have a second?
Sir, I will second that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ripper. In discussion by community, administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, resolution 14, 2025 has passed.
Resolution number 15, 2025, a resolution by the Council of the City of New Philadelphia, Tuscarawas County, Ohio, authorizing the mayor to sign on the behalf of the city the programmatic agreement with the Ohio State Historic Preservation Office for the administration of programs using HUD allocated funds with delegated review responsibilities as authorized under 24 CFR Part 5.8 and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Is there any action taken by council on this resolution tonight? Hearing none, it will be held for our next regularly scheduled council meeting.
Resolution number 16, 2025, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a partnership agreement with the city of Uhrichsville for the administration of the Project Year 2025 Community Housing Impact and Preservation CHIP Grant Program, if funded, and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Is there any action been taken by council on this resolution tonight? Hearing none, it would be held for our next regularly scheduled council meeting.
And that concludes legislation for this evening,
All
Mr.
right, thank you,
President.
Ms. Courtwright. Is there any unfinished roll business for council tonight? Is there any new business that needs to be brought before council? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. President.
All right, we are adjourned at 8:34. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
You too.